when we built our cabin in Bend, I had what I called the 7 mothers. And so I would bring carpeting samples to them and say, okay, so what do you think? Because I'm so used to making decisions in committee. And you get a better decision. There's nothing I would change in that cabin. And I really value the opinion of those people that I trust. And I think that's important, but it doesn't always have to be someone you trust. It can be your opponent. And you can learn a lot from your opponent as well.
Speaking of opponent, ran 7 times for mayor, won all 7 of course, only twice having an opponent. Was that disappointing to you to only have opponents twice, or what do you think having 5 unopposed races?
What did I think? Well, I was not, I think you have, my philosophy is you have politicians and you have do-gooders. And I've never been a politician. Folks have asked me through the years, oh, what's next? Nothing's next. I just had no desire to run for a state position or a county position. I've been asked before to run for county position. I'm just not interested. Mm-hmm. And I was very interested to give back and participate in the home in which I lived. So mm-hmm. I was taking care of my home, but I just don't have any interest in that. So I believe I'm a do-gooder. I believe most of the city councilors are do-gooders, and they're just there to make it better. But there's some politicians that have come through, and I think that those politicians love the campaign, love the challenge. That's the part they love. That's when they really shine. Mm-hmm. They don't like, and they're not good at, the mundaneness of public policy, of sludging through the paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of reading. And once you've been on city council for a significant period of time, I would say I felt that I had a real working knowledge after 6 years, but it really did take me that long. Mm-hmm. The first 2 years, Bob Newton said, go to every single meeting, every single one, because you don't know what's important and what's not important. I went to every single meeting, and it was really, really hard to do. Mm-hmm. But I did it because I didn't know. Then I started winnowing some of them down the second term, and by the third term, I really felt I had a grasp of what meetings I had to be at and what issues I really had to be knowledgeable about. You don't have to be knowledgeable about all of them, but you need a working knowledge. And so, I've forgotten the question.
The question was, in your time running for mayor, you had 5 times where you didn't have an opponent, and only twice you did have an opponent.
Yeah, so the only part I liked about campaigns was walking door to door. I'm a really good door-to-door person because I really like to talk to the people. And so I really liked that. And last time, when the last election, when I was running against Dave McCain, we hit almost every house in this town, walked with Marlene Quinn and a group of people, and I really enjoyed that. But the rest of it, it's hard, it's grueling, and I really just like the policy stuff. Mm-hmm. So.
After your term, you've just been elected vice president of the Keizer Art Association. Art has always been very close to you. Mm-hmm. So what do you want to accomplish at the Art Association? How do you think you're going to affect positive change in that organization?
Well, I'm on a very short leash. They're a close-knit organization. They've worked together for a long time, and they've kept that organization going. And so they've had a lot of accomplishments. So what do I want to do? I want to work with them on grants. I want to expand that out. I want to open it up to the public. I want to do that for 2 reasons. 1, I think it enriches the community. And 2, I think it helps the artists. I was a staunch advocate when Jonathan Boys, a past president of Keizer Art Association, came to me and said, give me the gallery space in the community center. Let Keizer Art Association have it. Jumped on it. I thought it was a great idea. I said, it's yours. He says, you've got to have hangars. We bought the hangars. We did everything we could to support local and Oregon artists, and at the same time allow all of the visitors, over 100,000 a year, come through that building. 100,000 visitors to have access to original works of art locally in their community center. I mean, that's a win. That's a win. We've sold 3 pieces of art out of there, and maybe those pieces would have sold, but I like to think it was because the artists had exposure.
Does the city get a percentage of that sale?
No, and the reason is we're building that program. That's a fledgling program. So once that becomes well known, and we have people fighting to get in. Right now, we have to go out and solicit and tell them what's available that they can have, and we rotate 4 times a year. I really like that too. I like the rotation. So right now, we have to go out and look for people and let them know that we're there. Very soon that will not be the case. The watercolor folks want to be every year, they want to come back, and the quilters want to come back every year. So that leaves us 2 quarters, and then we can always shorten it to 60 days. We're not going to make it any shorter than 60 days. So we could do 6 rolls a year. So once that happens, and we have folks that are fighting to get in, then I think that we will take a percentage, and we will use that percentage to go right back into the art program so that we can continue to expand art. Maybe we start to buy some of the sculpture that's on River Road. Maybe we expand the sculpture to other locations. I don't know what we'll do with it, but it'll go right back into it. Recently, the City Council gave us $1,000 budget to buy art boxes. And what we're going to do is put all of the art supplies in those boxes, and we will check those out to kids at McNary. We want the whole utility box project to be students. We want that to be student art.
Have you started taking pictures of them yet?
No, I have not. It is December. I am mayor, and I've been quite busy, but I'm going to get every one of those done. I mean, I'll do it, and I want to do it. That's the other thing. I really, Keizer Art Commission said, oh, you don't have the time to do that. I don't today, but I will in January, and I really want to walk River Road. That's how I really felt that we needed to have benches and stuff. I was walking River Road and thought, my God, you'd die before you could have a place to sit down. So we just started to build out places where there could be benches so people could walk. And so I really want to photograph them and make a catalog so that students can pick them and then decide how they want to paint them. And we want to do the river scenes. Christine Deeker came up with the idea of let's do movement on River Road. So with all the landscaping, we've tried to pick native species that are drought tolerant, but that have movement, so you have the feeling of a river. And I think that carrying that theme along and having meat underwater or rocks or whatever the kids do, I think people will love that. So that's our next really big project. But to get back to your question, what do you want to do with Keizer Art Association? I really have in my heart a 5-year public outreach plan. That first of that was the mural we did on Keizer Florist. We've been given some grant money to do a second mural. That mural is going to be a community tapestry where we'll sell little blocks of that, and you'll be the artist. We'll take the money that we sell from the artist spots and we'll move it to the next project. We've got the totems that are in front of the community center. Those old growth trees are being taken down. They're beautiful, big, thick trees. We hate to lose them, so we're not going to lose them. We're going to turn them into art objects. We're going to have the tribes carve one, and we're going to have the local carvers carve the other, because we work together, we live together. The tribes are part of the fabric of our community. That's going to be a spectacular art project, and it'll be there for the ages, and it'll be right in our front yard. Then we'll have the utility boxes, and then that will all culminate, hopefully in 5 years, we've raised the elevation of the creative community. We've gotten more people involved, and we've outreached to keep them wanting more. Then we start our own local art fair in conjunction with River Fair. Like to take a weekend, be under the trees, go back to the way that the Salem Art Fair started. I liked the Salem Art Fair when everything was local, when you could buy a piece of art for $100. Now, the art is spectacular, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's $5,000. I just don't think that is reflective of our community. Not to say that we don't have folks who have the means and who want to pay $5,000, but that certainly isn't the majority of the folks who live here.
And you mentioned with doing the pictures of the utility boxes, in January you'd have time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're not mayor anymore, are you going to still speak out about issues? Are you going to come to the council and talk about issues?
Well, yes, I'm not going to die, but you're not going to see a lot of me in that first year. And here's my thinking. I've been mayor for a long time, so people are really used to me, and a lot of people really know me. And I don't think it's fair to our new mayor, Kathy Clark, that I show up. I think that people will have a tendency, just because they know me, to come to me and to talk to me. And I don't want that for her. I want her to be able to set herself aside and to make her own mark. So you're not going to see a lot of me. I'm on the Keizer Art Commission. I've put in my volunteer application for, so I can stay on that committee. But I'm going to be all art. But if there's something that I think we're doing wrong, or if there's something that if anything Kathy asks me to do, I will give her all the support that she asks me for. But I'm not going to go to every city council meeting.
Are you going to watch them?
Probably not. Yeah. I'll probably get my news from the Keizertimes, so don't screw it up.
What advice would you give to Kathy and any future mayors of Keizer? Practical advice.
Be accessible and be kind. And, there's just, we can disagree and not be disagreeable. And I think that no truer words were ever spoken. I don't have to punch you. I don't have to be mean to you. I can still disagree with you. And we've had some folks that have been pretty angry with us and given us testimony and say, you don't listen, you don't listen. We did listen. We didn't agree, but we did listen. And I think that because these are issues that hit close to home and that impact your life tomorrow, you've got folks who are very emotionally invested and feel very passionately about it. I think it's our job not to get caught up in that and to make the best possible decisions for long term. Keep looking 20 years in advance. Keep looking and don't alienate those folks. I think I could walk up and have a conversation with any one of those people who have been the strongest criticizers of the decisions that we've made or that I've made.
If something were to bear your name in Keizer, what would you like it to be?
Oh, I'm just, I have no idea. I don't mean to sound flip when I say this, but that's not really important to me. I really don't have to have the Christopher something. I just don't have to have that. When I drive down Shamawa and there's the police department and the city hall and the community center we built, I know we built it. When I go to the Keizer station and I get to go local and I don't have to go to Salem, I am rarely in Salem because I can buy socks, underwear, all of the things that we just couldn't get in town. I'm proud that we've done that. Every summer when I'm down at the concerts, down at the amphitheater, and all of the things that are going to happen there, the nature center, working with Straub, and the amenities, the big toy that we're going to put out there, I'm so proud of all that, and it's all mine. It's all yours. And it doesn't have to have my name on it. We all did it together. There's not, sometimes when you put your name on something, it says, this person donated a pile of cash, or this person did this. That's not how we do things in Keizer. It's very collective. We all work together to make those things happen. So, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
In 2034, what do you think people will point to and say, we have that because of the mayor 20 years ago?
Community center. The Keizer Rapids Park, truly that was legacy building. Setting aside that 200 acres and to continue to build that out. That's legacy building stuff. That amphitheater is, just to have our whole community out there, 1,000 people at a time in the summer in those free concerts, that's legacy building stuff.
Where does Keizer Station rank in that?
I think that it's wonderful that jobs are local. When that's completely built out, there'll be 3,500 to 4,000 jobs. It's huge, it's significant. If this council moves forward and is able to expand our UGB, we'll add a couple hundred acres, and hopefully that'll become a business campus. And my vision for that was always to support the local medical services that we already have. Well, look what's come to fruition. We have Silverton Health, and now we have Keizer Permanente, spectacular. And that's, that's phase one. That's 20,000 square feet. They have room to build another 20,000 square feet. I will bet you that will be the busiest and the most used clinic of any of their clinics, because the location is so prime. We're in the sweet spot. We're an hour from big city, we're an hour from the mountains, we're an hour from the beach. We're in a sweet spot. And people want to live here, our taxes are low, and they want to work local. And I think those are the drivers that will continue to bring amenities to Keizer. So if we can bring that 200 acres in, and that can become a business campus, and all of the support businesses that support medical facilities, it'll be a home run. It'll take 8 years, but it'll be a home run.
To what end? So we've made Keizer one of the most desirable addresses in the Mid-Valley, and we think about development and economic development. What are we looking for? Just to have more people? Just to have more amenities? What's the city? What are the city leaders aiming for with these plans?
I think they're aiming for a quality of life, and I think that quality of life is nebulous. I think that quality of life to the three of us is going to be different. We could have some areas of commonality, but we've got a different vision for that. So you have to be able, as a leader in your community, to meet all of those needs, or at least speak to those needs and dismiss them because we can't make them happen. So you've got quality of life in the building of our parks system. You've got quality of life in the shows that we bring, the concerts that we bring into those parks. You've got quality of life with a mom being able to work local in a part-time job at Keizer Station so that she can take her kid to work in the morning and pick her kid up at 3 o'clock. You've got quality of life in having medical services available locally. All of those things together make a quilt of what a community should be in order to continue to thrive. I don't think it has to grow. I think that in our case, we're so landlocked that for us to bring in higher paying jobs in a business campus, we don't have anywhere. We're just out of land. So I think that once they bring in that 200 acres, if it happens, and you've got a business campus there, I'll bet you that's about the size we are. I think we'll probably settle at around 50,000 people. And I think that's a nice size community. It's still a community that has enough people to bring amenities home and make them local, but you can still get your arms around it. It's not too big. And I think that if we're able to do that, then we're able to expand and not have 1 in 7 drive out of our community. Maybe we can cut that in half and keep half of them local. Then that would be great.